interesting thing is that people are not selling it. They're just
holding it.
Because they're doing it. Because all the other cryptos depend on this, right?
Yeah. No, it's
but no financial advice.
Yeah, this is I have to put like a thing.
Yeah.
But what we're saying is not financial advice, just our opinions.
Yeah, because recently every YouTube video I watch, this is the first thing.
Yeah.
I'm just a guy on YouTube. This is not financial advice.
Yeah. Even family members, man, they tell me because I invest.
Let's start.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome everybody to another episode of Picking Brains with JJ Swar. I have my friend Talha. Actually, we've never met before.
This is the first time we're meeting. Yeah,
the first time we're meeting. Can you tell the people how you ended up here? Go ahead.
Yeah. So actually, we were looking for some place to get some exposure in Bahrain, and I just started typing on Google podcast in Bahrain, and you were the second or the third result that showed up.
Oh wow!
And instantly, I just sent you a message, and I was like, "Hey Jabur, how are you?" I introduced myself, and then I said, "All right, how do you select guests?" I thought, okay, there is a process, and then you said, "Can you speak English?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can." And then you're like, "Sure, let's do it." And I was like, really amazing.
Great. Yeah, no, I didn't know how this is my first time hearing this. I didn't know how you found my podcast.
Yeah, I just searched on Google podcast in Bahrain. There was like 3, 4, and the second or third was yours, Picking Bahrain.
So why'd you choose me over the first?
Actually, I sent a message to everyone. Because I'm like this guy, I have this grind, I'll do whatever it takes.
Of course, grinding. Yeah.
So you were the first one to reply.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Trying to be active. I saw a message request. I'm like, yeah, sure, man, hop on. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
I'm glad to have you here.
Same here.
And we have plenty to talk about. But it's mostly going to be focused around NFTs, metaverse, all that stuff.
And especially gaming. Play into our gaming.
Great. Yeah. I know a little bit, not too much of this space. I do invest in this space, but not too much. But yeah, you had some questions, and I told you to keep the questions in your mind because it'll be great to answer in the podcast. So go ahead.
So I'll tell everything about myself and what I do later.
Sure.
The first question is, why Picking Brains?
Why the name Picking Brains? Yeah. So I briefly touched upon it in my podcast before, but particularly how I got this name, I watched a movie. I forgot what movie it is, but a character tells another character, let me try to pick your brain on this particular topic. And I'm like, I've heard of this term. I know what it means. I haven't thought about it for a podcast. So I'm like, picking your brains. It's short, 2 words, and it describes what I do. Because I don't have a particular niche for my podcast. People, when they ask me, when you do a podcast, what is it about? Is it about entrepreneurship? Is it about fitness? Is it about religion? Is it about this and that? I'm like, no, it's about whatever.
The name shows that you're curious. You want to learn more. And that's why you pick people's brain to learn more.
Yes, and they pick mine. That's the thing. It's a 2-way thing. I don't want people to feel like this is an interview. More so, it's a conversation.
Exactly.
And my description of the podcast is a collection of candid conversations regarding contemporary topics. I'm a fan of alliteration. And part of the reason why I had you on is because I know nothing about you, nothing about what you do, and I didn't research beforehand. I wanted to be candid. That's like one of the best things. I'm getting to know you as we're talking, and then we'll have hopefully, I'm sure of it from what we've from our interactions, we're going to have a good conversation.
Sure.
But I think you had another question. I don't know if there was something else I wanted to talk about. The AWS.
Yeah. So, so while we met, we were talking about that. Jabur is get involved with AWS, and I was like really curious because personally, me and my friends were also involved with some AWS projects. So tell me about it, Jabur.
Yes. So for the people who don't know, AWS is Amazon Web Services. They mostly centered around cloud computing. So they host servers for other people to host their websites, whatever products they have on their servers. And we have one in Bahrain. Actually, it's called an AZ, an availability zone, I think. Yeah, we have 2 of them here.
3 data centers.
Or 3 data centers. Yeah. So we have 3 AZs here. And I want to work there because the background was I studied in the US and I want to work in the US. Graduated December 2019 and wanted to work as a software engineer. I actually got a job offer to work in Cambridge, Massachusetts. So if you know where that is, the office was right between the campuses of Harvard and MIT. Oh. So it was a very expensive place, but they paid well. Unfortunately, COVID hit, so my job offer got rescinded and I came back to Bahrain and I want to explore opportunities here. And I noticed that AWS was new here and I wanted to work there. There's not much competition. So I started studying for some certifications. I even took a cloud computing class in college, so that could help me. Got there, what's called the Certified Cloud Practitioner, CCP, AWS. I got that in September. And here's the thing. So at that point, I had, I would say, 2 internships and a part-time job. I've already built a website on AWS. I got the certification, studied abroad and all that stuff, right? So I thought I'd be a good candidate at this point. I apply to AWS for their even internships, even just for the internships, but also they had a graduate job as well.
CIC graduate?
It was called Graduate Professional Services, I think. And I was like, okay, I'll apply to that. Got nothing back. Heard nothing back. I know a couple of friends who went to University of Bahrain, no experience working, no part-time, no internships. They get calls. And I'm like, hello? What's going on? Because I told them I want to do this. Like, oh, I already got a job. I already got a call from them, like the screening interview in the beginning. I got nothing. I'm like, that's weird. And then I find out that this is my theory. I find that Amazon, well, this is fact. Amazon is partnered with the UOB in the sense that they are sponsoring a cloud computing degree in University of Bahrain, and I think there's some.
I'll add on that.
Yes, so I think they're hosting one of the data centers in the campus, one of the campuses, I think as well.
Yeah.
So there's kind of that they have this alliance, right? So perhaps maybe they prioritize UOB students over everybody else.
Yeah, it's somehow right, yeah.
So I don't know much. That's my theory, because on paper, I thought I was qualified, maybe even overqualified for what I was doing, because I even have a certification of theirs, and I was working on getting the next certification. But then I landed the job I'm in now, and I'm like, okay, khalas, I just forgot about it. But you said you had some experience with AWS. Go ahead. Before we get to that, sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but let's explain what you do. Where your organization is, and then we can jump into that.
Yeah, so I'll start when I joined university, right? When I joined university, I was a good student. I used to get good. Actually, I'm still in university. I haven't graduated. There's 1 semester remaining. Yeah. So the thing is, when I joined university, I realized that I don't want to follow the traditional path, like graduate, get a job, and then work. I thought I don't want to do something different, but I don't know what to do different. So I started reading books. Actually, I went to the library and I just picked a random book. And the book I read is what brought me here. The book was How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Have you read that book?
I have that book. I read it. I gave it to my brother. Dale Carnegie, 1920s, 1930s.
Exactly.
Yeah.
During the Great Depression, he wrote that book. And that book literally changed my life. From that book, I went to Think and Grow Rich, the second book, then by Napoleon Hill, and so on and so forth. So at that time, these books really helped develop my mindset and made me, think what I want to do. So I thought, okay, I don't want to do a job. Maybe if I get, but the thing is, I'll start from now. So it was my second semester, and I really like to write. So I started doing freelance gigs on Fiverr and Upwork, and I was able to make some money. And I realized, okay, this is good. What if I could do that in Bahrain? So I started this company called Fanoon. This was like an Instagram page where I just provide writing services to companies. I had the skill, but I wanted to bring business. So what to do? I started reading more books. I read sales book. Do you know about Brian Tracy?
No.
Yeah, he's a guy who or you know about Jordan Belfort?
Yes.
So all the sales guy, I watched all the YouTube videos, all the books, and everything that is related to.
He's a Wolf of Wall Street, they call him, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So I read all the books on psychology of selling, how to get clients, and I whatever I read, I applied it, and I was able to learn how to get customers. And then from there on, I met my friends, Talha and Shahroz, who are my co-founders of our company.
Okay.
And Shahroz especially was interested in game development. And he, in the second year of university, he told, okay, there's this software called Unity in which we can build our own games. And I was like, really? Can we do that? And I thought, okay, games are created by these big companies who have this big engineers. And he's like, anybody could create it. And I told him, okay, let's create Subway Surfers. Let's just replicate it. And then we started building it. Then we got another guy, Talha. Because in university, except for taking classes, we didn't used to do anything. Just roam around and just waste our time.
Yeah.
So Shahroz told, okay, let's learn gaming. Let's learn how to build games. And so Talha started learning 3D designing, the characters that we need. And from there on, we got involved in this community called Unreal Bahrain. It's a gaming community in Bahrain. You might have heard about Yusuf Buhaza.
Maybe no.
Yeah, he's the guy who started everything, and he's a really great guy. And we met him. He encouraged us to participate in Game Jam. So there was this Game Jam we participated in, and we created a game. The first time we participated in, and we did not win. The next year we did again, and we did not win. And the third year we went again, and finally we won the third prize.
Oh, great!
So yeah, from that's where we got our start, and that's where we keep our name Nalikes. The company name.
Okay.
So the backstory on Nalikes, my small brother created this YouTube videos way back, and he had his channel named W Plays. His name was Wahab.
Okay.
And I told him, okay, it's your channel, but let's keep it Nalikes, so we all can create videos. So Nalikes, just so everybody know, Nalikes means incompetent in our language. So it was like just a funny thing.
Yeah.
I didn't realize this would turn into a company.
Yes.
So I told him, you should keep your channel name Nalike, but he didn't listen. I was like, okay, whenever I do my thing, I'll keep it Nalike.
Okay.
So we went to the event and we kept Nalikes. And from there on, so that was we were learning how to do game development, how to build application. And meanwhile, I was doing every side hustle possible. Every side hustle possible.
Good. That's a good mentality.
Yeah, because the thing was, my other two friends aren't really much focused on making money. I'm the one who's much focused on making money.
You're the businessman.
Yeah. So they were like, they had the skills, and I told them, okay, we'll use your skills and we'll make some money. I'll bring in the customers.
Yes.
So one day in university, it was third year for university, and that's where AWS comes in. Before AWS announced officially that they were coming to Bahrain, they had this small lecture where one of the solution architect, his name was Ben Romano, came to here, and he introduced what is AWS, what is cloud computing. We haven't heard what was cloud computing. All we knew was that the backend work in data centers, and every company has to have their own data centers. Yes. I didn't know there was something in which we could rent servers.
Yeah.
So he explained what is what is AWS and all. So the thing was, we asked him, okay, how can we work at AWS? Because the way he explained AWS, and I was like, this is a really cool place to work. And we asked him how to do it. He said, yeah, there's this programs you can follow and so on. And we didn't knew that AWS was coming to Bahrain. There was no official news, and we just followed on LinkedIn, and just we wished that, okay, if we could get an opportunity to work there. Fast forward 1 year, I got a text from my friend. He said, okay, there's this event happening tomorrow morning. Be there. And I was like, no, I don't want to come here. My alarm rang at 7 o'clock, and we had to go there. I didn't know where I was going. I went to our Capita, and when I went there, there was no sign. AWS was just moving in, and I went there. There was this guy, Mr. Nadal, and he was like, "I am Nadal. I'm the from AWS." And I was like, "This is AWS," and I was like, "Oh, this came true. We wanted to work here, and now we're finally in the office." And so that thing.
How's the office, Baba? Is it nice?
It's really amazing. I'll tell you.
Sure.
We spent a lot of time there. So they give us the introduction. Okay, why did they call us? So actually, that program was for final year students, but we were second and third years. So we weren't supposed to be there, but luckily we ended up there. And they explained us what is AWS, what is cloud computing, and a solution architect came in and he explained what do they do.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, the reason we were called there is that they're having this summit, this hackathon, for 18 days where they'll use AWS technology and solve real world problems.
Yeah.
So now he was like, cool. And they give us all these cool gadgets, and they give us free AWS credits, and they told us to build something.
Yeah.
And we thought, okay, what we wanted to build. For a couple of days, we brainstormed, we failed, and finally we landed up on an idea called. We realized that there was one video my friend sent me. It was that a guy was trying to, a mute deaf guy was trying to order food through a drive-through.
Yeah.
But the waiter, the guy who was taking the order, was very rude because obviously the deaf person cannot speak, right? And he was like, I'm not able to understand. And it really went viral. This showed, and we did research, and we found out there are 400 million people in the world who are deaf, and they face this problem every day. So we realized, okay, so the people cannot speak, and people like us don't understand sign language.
Yeah.
What if there was a way in which we could create a translator that could convert sign language to voice and voice language to voice to sign language?
So it's like Google Translate, but for sign.
Exactly. And we worked on it, and 18 days we worked on it. It was a really cool journey. We went to the offices, we got free food every day there, and it was a really amazing journey. Fast forward to the event day. we gave the presentation and we won the first prize. I was
Wow.
like, awesome. It was like, so yeah. And then from there on, then we were really excited. We were approached by a couple of investors and they said, okay, we want to build a solution, but we were just a couple of kids, don't know anything about, how to build a company. And it was like, how much do you guys need to make the solution? and they took us to this fancy place and we were like stunned. We couldn't even speak at that place.
Yeah.
And I don't want to speak the name. There was this guy who told us, okay, imagine if you can get Lamborghinis before even graduating. You just need to build this solution. and now I realize he was trying to, convince us. But that was awesome. So, we went to a couple of more, meet a couple of more people, but it didn't work out. AWS approached us, okay, what do you guys want internships? And we were like, yes. So they told us, okay, you guys, there's this new thing coming to in you. So that's where AWS partnered with UOB, and they created this, obviously a data center, and there was this something called Cloud Innovation Center. There's a new small, a place in UOB where they will train students, and these students will build products, and then that product might go into real world.
And will they also give them a chance to get hired at AWS?
Yeah, no. Yeah, so how Cloud Innovation Center work is that they take a group of students, they assign them a challenge, and that challenge particularly solves a problem for a specific industry. Like the problem we were assigned, we will build the solution for the Shura Council, and they will be able to use in government organization the solution. Okay. And similarly, there was some students from Bahrain Polytechnic, and they were trying to build this solution. I can't remember properly, for some other organization. So like they give you, internship. You have some for a few months. You have to build a solution, and that solution would be used by a particular organization, whichever has partnered with AWS. So from there, we built the solution, and we really worked on it. I'll share some link, and you might share it in the...
Sure. Yeah. I can share it.
So yeah, so the thing was that there were solutions out there that converted sign language to voice and voice to sign language. But the problem with those solutions were that they were all prototypes and not a real product, right? And all of these solutions use some sort of hardware, right? And the problem was in sign language, if there are static signs and there are dynamic signs,
yes.
Right? So the machine learning algorithms and the AI models that exist today can only detect static signs. There was nothing we could find that do dynamics. And one of the Shahroz, the main developer, he thought, okay, I'll build a solution. So they built a solution which was able to recognize dynamic sign. So that was, our main unique point. So yeah, from there on, we went on creating, and the internship was over. And now they told us, okay, this is something good. Go build a company around it. And we were like, yeah, we'll build it. We went to Flat 6 Labs. We went to all of the incubators and all.
Yeah.
So yeah. And we were still building the solution, but in order to scale it, we need funding, right?
Of course.
And we weren't able to find funding. We went to so many investors, and we did a lot of things, but nobody was able to fund it. Meanwhile, I was really involved in, again, making money. So I was learning how to build Shopify stores, how to do e-commerce. I was seeing videos on for people there, earning 7 figures using dropshipping. So
I see it. I used to see it everywhere. Amazon dropshipping.
Exactly.
Buy products from Alibaba for like a bunch and then sell it other places. Yeah. It was felt like a scam to me, but I knew it worked, but I don't know. Yeah. I never tried it.
Yes. So, and I was like, I need to build a dropshipping store. Yeah. So I tried everything that was possible. I bought the Shopify subscription. I did everything. I was able to build the store, but the problem I faced was that in order to integrate payments, Shopify is not available in Bahrain, right?
Oh, okay.
So if I was in US or any other country, I could use their payment method, and Shopify would accept payments on my behalf and then transfer to my account. But I was in Bahrain, and I needed a payment gateway. So I used to, I had to use some third-party tool. For that, I needed a CR, and I was like stuck, right? And at this point, I didn't know there was something called blockchain, right? I didn't know. The only exposure I had to blockchain was in 2019. One of my friends told me that there is this application that is giving away free money. Just download it and use my referral link. And that was called Facet. I downloaded it and I invested 50 BD in Ethereum. I didn't know what was Ethereum. I didn't know Bitcoin exists. Nothing. I did nothing. I think the only thing I noticed was that my Ethereum was rising. Every day it was. And I was like happy. I was like quiet. I didn't tell anybody what is happening.
Good.
But I didn't understand what was happening.
Yeah.
All right. And meanwhile, I was trying to figure out to build this Shopify store and I couldn't. And I was really frustrated. And one day we were sitting with my friends in the car. Fast forward to 2021 and all the COVID in the home. So the only thing I did was read books, read as many books as possible. So I was sitting with my friends Shahroz and Talha, who are the Yeah. And I asked him, like, guys, let's do something big. Let's do something big. I don't want to do something small. Let's do something big that would really change our lives and the lives of the people around us. And he was like, yeah, Talha, I don't know, but anything I do would be around NFTs. And I was like, what is NFT? He explained me. He is a technical guy.
This is last year?
Yeah, last year. Really?
So I didn't even know NFTs.
I didn't know what was blockchain, really.
Okay.
I told you, no?
Yeah.
So he told me, Talha, there's something called NFTs and we're gonna build something around it. I was like, what is NFT? He explained me and I was like, you mean people are getting rich by selling images? He said, yes, no. And then he told me how NFTs work. And I didn't understand. I went home, I started researching and I realized, oh my God, I spent few weeks learning about everything. And I realized there's this thing called blockchain that, is making NFTs possible. And I was sleeping upon it. Then I realized, okay, why my investment in Ethereum is rising, why everything is rising. And from there on, it
clicked.
It clicked.
Yeah.
And I'm a go-getter. I don't want to sit on ideas. I said, okay, next day. Oh, I didn't mention something before. So meanwhile, while I was doing dropshipping store, I tried to build an audience on TikTok by an account called Gilgar.
Okay.
That account focused on creating a self-help, motivational, inspirational content. I was really into it. And so what my aim was with that, I'll drive that audience to my Shopify store. Yeah. But I
Smart. No, that's the way to do things. Yeah. To take your audience from one platform and bring it to your desired platform.
Yeah. So I was able to understand how TikTok works and I was able to get 80K followers and it's still there.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was like just continuous post content, continuously use hashtags.
Reminds me of Gary V.
Yeah. Gary V is the guy. Yeah. Yeah. Gary V, I really like that guy. So from there on, I told him, okay, let's build NFTs for my audience. There are 80K people. Somebody will buy it. We'll just sell for 10 BD.
Yeah.
And then from there, I was realized, okay, no, it's not something we need to do. We need to build. So I said, okay, Shahroz, what do we need to build? And I had this idea where we will build this motivation, superheroes. We'll have Mr. Inspiration, Captain Hustle, and so on. We'll have this cute collection and we'll send and get rich. And he was like, no, this does not work. And then he had the idea of cubes. He woke up one day. I have written an article about it. How did we get the idea? I'll share that as well. So he told me that, okay, we need to do something around cubes. And I was like, okay, what is cube? And then we refine, and we were able to make, cuboids, like those characters that you might have seen.
Okay, like Funko Pop.
It's like a square.
Yeah, based on people though, right? Do they make the cube based on people or just cubes?
Can I show you a picture?
Sure, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll show you. So you'll get the idea.
No worries. But I was going to say, even when you're talking about game development and Unity, coincidentally, right before you, I had a game developer come on this show.
Really?
Yeah, he did a whole game on Unity.
Omar al-Sharji?
Yeah, Omar al-Sharji.
Yeah, it's a really good guy.
Yeah, I had him on. It was a fun time.
Yeah, so these are the cuboids. So these are cubes, correct? Right? So how does the NFT art work is that we build traits, right? We build a few scale. Let's say I'm building a human NFT, right? So what I'll do, I'll create 10 types of t-shirt, 10 types of jeans, and 10 types of shoes. I'll run a code and it will generate, different. Yeah.
It's like you have a template with different outfits.
Exactly.
And you just randomize it.
So we created this 10,000 NFTs and I was like, okay, we created this NFT. How are we going to sell it? We didn't know how to do it. We did a Google search, OpenSea came up. We said, okay, we'll sell on OpenSea. We posted NFTs there and we were able to sell the first 100, right? And we did some work, 3 months. Within 3 months, we were able to sell out the first 100. And we were like, good, but there was 10,000 of them. But then as I was also researching about it, I realized, okay, why would someone buy just an cube and what's an NFT at that? Even after we have sold 100 NFTs, I didn't know what was an NFT, really.
Yeah. There's a part of me that still doesn't. I mean, I know what NFTs are. Oh, yeah, we continue. I'll come
explain
to you later.
It's good.
Yeah.
We'll explain you. I'll stop here and I'll explain what is NFT.
Sure.
Imagine, Jabur, if you upload a picture on Instagram, okay?
Yeah.
And that picture shows on your profile, right? Do you own that picture?
No, I know. Sorry, I know what NFTs are.
Yeah.
I was saying I don't know why people would buy certain NFTs over others.
Yeah.
That's where my confusion is. But you can explain for the people.
So people know.
Yeah.
So if you upload a picture to Instagram, do you own that picture?
No.
Yeah. You're a technical guy. You might know.
Yeah.
So the reason we don't own it, that picture is stored where? On Instagram server. Centralized servers, right?
Yes.
And they can delete it whenever they want.
Yes.
Can anyone copy our work?
Yes.
yes, they can do it. They can take a screenshot, they can copy it and portray it as their work. And there's no way we can prove that it's our original work. So this is the problem with the current internet. We don't own the content we create. Even if this podcast we are recording, we don't own it. We'll post it to Instagram or wherever, but the companies where
it hosts the podcast, they own
the content. Yeah. So this is the problem with the current Web 2.0. We don't own what we create. But with NFTs, we can do it. I'll explain. NFT stands for, right, everybody, most of people are non-fungible tokens. But we need to focus on the word fungible.
Yeah.
What does non-fungible means?
So I remember this. Fungible means I can change or exchange it, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Non-fungible means something scarce and something that cannot be changed. For example, the currency. It's fungible. One Bahraini dinar note is exactly the same as another note, right?
Yeah.
I can ask you to exchange with me. It'll have the same value. But let's say I have a picture of Mona Lisa in my room and the one in the French Museum. Can I ask them to exchange with me?
No,
they'll kick us out, right?
Yeah.
Because that's called non-fungible.
Yes.
So in the past, if you created something digitally, there was no way you could prove that you own it. But with non-fungible tokens, you convert your content into tokens with which you can prove that, okay, you are the owner and you created.
Yes.
That's a high-level definition. So it's basically NFTs are just digital asset. That's it.
Yeah. I have a question though. Yeah. So I remember someone, I don't know who it was, but the guy selling the first tweet ever. How does that work? Because the tweet is a tweet. It's not an image. It's not, so, and it belongs to your account. How do you sell a part of your account or a part of the tweet?
Yeah, so if you think about it, tweet is just a digital asset. It's like a text, right?
Yes.
And so on blockchain, there are two types of token: fungible and non-fungible. Fungible are those like Bitcoin, Ethereum, crypto. Those are fungible. And non-fungible means these NFTs.
Yes.
So that tweet which you saw, it's like just a text, and somebody, the first one who posted on the blockchain, I think he was the founder of Twitter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And basically now you and me can go and convert that tweet into NFT as well. But he was the first one, right?
Okay.
So the reason NFTs are valuable is because of demand. Like, all assets, supply and demand.
Yeah.
So due to, actually I'm giving a talk on the upcoming event NFT Mina, and I talk about this. Okay, why it makes NFT valuable? You might have known about CryptoPunks, right?
CryptoPunks?
Yeah.
Is it the NFT monkeys?
Yeah, NFT. And no, the other one, CryptoPunk.
I think I've heard the term.
Yeah.
But I'm not really
it's
ringing a bell.
I'll show you. It's these CryptoPunks.
Yeah.
So one of these images was sold for $23.7 million last month.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing, which most people don't know, that 5 years ago, anyone could have claimed it for free as much as they want. As many as they want. Like there were 10,000 of these. But now they're so expensive. So like as I told you, demand, right? So now there are only 10,000 of these, and there are so many people that know about it. So because of demand, they have a high price. That's it.
But what else do they deliver? Is it just the image? Is it just that character, that avatar? Like Paris Hilton, I know she has one that's millions of dollars. To me, as a person looking from the outside looking in, people claim there's money laundering going on with some of the richer people. Like I know Seth Rogen has one. I know Jimmy Kimmel has one. Like what NFTs to me, where I see them valuable is when it comes to the metaverse and gaming, like things you want to own that have utility, right? When I see people buying monkeys, and I know I'm making it sound bad, but when you buy things that they all look the same, they just have different outputs randomly generated, and comparing that to the Mona Lisa, like having one monkey, one of a kind, I get it. But having the same kind of monkey, but different sunglasses, different hat, and there's no utility to it. It's not like an artistic feat that somebody has done. I know some people would say, oh, well, there's some celebrities that use these NFTs to give you access to certain features that nobody has, right? But to me, that's not really that utility. It's just being a VIP, paying money to be a VIP.
Exactly. Jabur, you might remember Fortnite. Have you played Fortnite?
Yes, very early.
Yeah, in Fortnite, if you bought skins, did you get any advantage in game?
No.
It just
cosmetics,
Yeah, cosmetic. Yeah. So some of these NFTs are just like that. They just shows, okay, now Twitter has this new update where you could set a profile picture of NFT and you can prove that you own it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you come across an account that owns a CryptoPunk, you're like, oh, this guy is rich, or he was an OG. So most of these NFTs have just this demand and they are one of the first NFTs. That's why they're expensive, right? But coming about the Bored Ape Yacht Club, so these are access NFTs. By holding this NFTs, you can get access to private clubs, exclusive events, and meet, other people. Like holding a Bored Ape Yacht Club might allow me to meet, Neymar or someone in the future. Because blockchain allows us to prove it. Like I can even screenshot the Bored Ape Yacht Club and I'll go to that event and I'll show them. But that won't be the original one, because there is a way with blockchain we can prove who owns the original one, right? So most of these NFTs are access NFTs. They allow you, get access to exclusive events.
They're just a fancy looking VIP ticket.
Exactly. Ticket. Yeah, but it's in the blockchain and it's cool.
Yeah. So that's the thing that to me is something I would not get into, like personally.
Yeah, exactly.
So what I like, for instance, about the NFT is like for Sandbox, right? You talk about it's similar to Player to Earn. I know it's not completely the same.
Yeah.
Where you own digital land, and then eventually, if there's some sort of manifestation of the metaverse, because I know, have you heard of VR chat?
Yeah.
So some sort of VR chat for the metaverse, where you own land and you can prove it's your land. Things like that make sense to me.
Exactly.
Right. So I that's when I said earlier, I am into this. I invest in NFTs. This is what I'm investing in, because in NFT gaming, because I think it's going to be the first manifestation of, other than art, is going to be the first big step in NFTs until future, whatever there's beyond that. And I think it's going to take a year or two for that to come into fruition. So I'm putting a lot of money in it and not touching it for a year.
Exactly. And that's what, everyone should do. Don't invest blindly. Make sure you do your research properly, because the thing is, most of the creators behind these projects are anonymous, right?
Yes.
They just want to take your money and go away.
Yeah.
For the people who don't understand what an NFT, but they just have heard somebody is getting rich, I also want to buy.
I just want to put fear of missing out.
Fear of FOMO, yeah. So most of the projects out there, personally, I am an NFT creator. Yeah. There are scams out there. So you have to make sure. So there are a couple of things you can do to do that, but we'll discuss later on.
Of course.
So I'll jump back to the cuboids.
Yes.
Yeah. So the thing was, we created the project and we were anonymous at this still point, right? And we were learning every day. And he was like, okay, we created this NFTs, but what we could do what value could we provide? Like in any real world, people buy a certain product or a service because they get some value in it.
Yes.
And we were like, okay, what we could do? At that moment, I was just scrolling and I came across Axie Infinity. And I realized that, Axie Infinity is a game. It was created in 2017 by 3 Vietnamese developer, and it allows people to earn actual money.
Yeah.
And I started learning about it. And why did, that got my attention was that during the pandemic, most people living in countries such as Philippines and Indonesia lost their jobs and they don't have any income. And before the pandemic, they used to earn $5 to $6 a day. But with playing a game, they're earning more tokens. And how that works, we'll discuss later on. So I realized that there are these new games coming that are allowing to create in-game economy that will, help people play and earn. Imagine, Jabur, you used to play which game? Which was your favorite game?
Growing up, let's say Call of Duty.
Call of Duty. In Call of Duty, did you earn some sort of points or XP or something?
Yes.
Imagine if you could take that XP and convert it into actual Bahraini dinars.
Yeah.
Exactly. So this is the future. Like imagine you played so many hours, but at the end of the day, everything is still in the game.
Yeah.
And even if you try to sell your account, you might get banned.
And not only that, the game is eventually going to die.
Exactly.
Servers are going to go down. They're going to make a new version of this game. You have to reinvest in that game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But with NFTs, what's happening is that if you buy an asset in a game, it belongs to you. Means it does not belong to the creator of the game. And even if the game shut down, you can take that asset to another game, or you could just exchange them for another cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
So personally,
I love that concept.
Exactly.
It's an amazing
Imagine,
concept.
we don't have to work. We just play every day.
Yeah.
Because personally, what I used to play FIFA, right? And in FIFA, we had this FIFA Ultimate Team coins. And I used to spend so much, because in that you play, you get coins, and then you open packs, and from the packs, you got players, right?
Yeah.
But the thing was, once I was able to earn 15 million FIFA Ultimate Team coins. And I was like, okay, I don't want to do it. I want to sell it. I sold my account, but it got banned. So I had to return the guy the money. And it was like all offline, we're just chatting through WhatsApp. It was not allowed. And FIFA highly discouraged people who, did this sort of actions. So when I realized, okay, if this is happening, and in future, if somebody is playing FIFA and they could exchange their tokens, that would be life-changing. So I told my friends were game developers. And so they thought, okay, we're going to create a game that will allow people to earn money using these cuboids. But the problem with the current play to earn game was that if you play Axie Infinity or another games, most of them are passive play. Like you click and you wait and something happens and then you earn the tokens. We were like, okay, we are going to create something that will allow people to control their characters and then
like they're actively engaging in the game. Yeah.
So that's where this realm of cuboids was born. Like before we only had cuboids, but now we need to convert in realm of cuboids where we have this different species. But you buy the NFTs, and then once the game came out, you go into a match. You have a cuboid NFT. I have a cuboid NFT, right? We have our own token called cubics, right? So before the match starts, you say, I want to put it 10 cubics. I'll put 10 cubics. We'll fight based purely on skill. Whoever wins, get the money.
So is it like a fighting game?
Yeah, they're one of. So we have two modes.
Okay.
Player versus player, player versus enemy, in which you can just challenge any of your friend online.
Okay.
Like, have you played this Smash brawling game? Yeah, it's going to be something like that.
Okay, great. So it is like a kind of like a fighting game, like a brawling game. I was gonna say something, if I could rewind a little bit.
Yeah.
The concept of owning digital cosmetics or assets and selling them in gaming actually is not new.
Yeah.
Even with Axie Infinity 2017, I used to play Counter-Strike Global Offensive. It's on Steam. And even Team Fortress 2 had this. Those are very old games. I think even back in 2014 or 13-14 is when they introduced cosmetics into the game. And the way they work is you buy a case. Okay, I think it's similar to FIFA.
Yeah.
You buy a case and you have certain rare items in this case, like a skin for a gun, and there's a knife. Knife is like the rarest thing to get. Like it's almost like a 0 point something percent to get the knife. You have to spend money to get keys to open these cases. You get these cases by playing, and you get keys by paying.
Okay.
So you open it up. Wherever it lands, you get that skin, right? So now it's not like Fortnite where halas, it's in your game now and you can't do anything with it. In Steam, they had Steam Marketplace. They had something called Steam Marketplace, and Steam are the people. Valve are the people who created Steam and Counter-Strike. They introduced a marketplace, and what you can do in the marketplace is you can list these items that you got and sell them for actual Steam cash, not real cash. Steam cash, which you can buy games. But what they also can allow you to do is trade with people. So what people would do is they would make these websites, they would list their items and be like, okay, I'm going to sell this for PayPal money, so real money, but this is how we trade.
Exactly. Yeah,
Right?
this was happening, but there was no proper.
There was no blockchain. There was no blockchain.
Yeah.
But the concept of it, when I heard of it, I'm like, oh, this is cool. Because I used to own knives. I used to sell knives. I used to sell my cosmetics. I have like a sticker, just a sticker you put on a gun that's worth $700. But I can't do anything with it unless we do the whole PayPal thing. So this concept is not really foreign. I want to tell people, but the introduction of blockchains and NFTs makes it so it's very concrete, very robust.
Yeah, but the problem with Steam and FIFA is that it's centralized. It's controlled by one entity.
Controlled.
Even if you earn the knife you talked about, they can just remove it from your account.
Exactly.
If
or they
want.
can stop the marketplace.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if that was built on a blockchain, nobody could close it. So that's the only difference.
Of course. It's like the alpha version of what we have now.
But it was coming. You know? People were trying different ways.
Yeah, but go ahead. You were.
Yeah. So that's where we focused on creating the play and earn game. So we created a demo, and we are still currently building on it, because the thing is, it's not easy to create an in-game economy. So how Axie Infinity work is kind of Ponzi scheme. You know what is Ponzi scheme, right? So
pyramid scheme.
Yeah, pyramid scheme. Yeah. So how this game is, allowing people to earn is that until now, that game will only allow people to earn money if more and more people are coming in, right? There is no sustainable model as of now, right? So that's where we are focusing right now. We are trying to create our tokenomics it's called.
Yeah.
So where we don't want to create a game that will just go up and die out, because if people are not able to earn money through playing our game, it's the whole idea is then, right? So that's where we're focusing now. We're trying to build a game. We're trying to build the tokenomics, and once we launch, let's see where it goes.
Great.
And that's where. So this was Realm of Cuboids, right? And that's where this was the game. Now there was this company behind it called Nalikes Studios.
Yes.
So, and we thought, okay, we have the skill, we have the knowledge. Let's, allow people to use it. So that's where we formed this company, and we started helping other projects do what we are doing. We know how to build smart contracts and how to do all the things that are included in building an NFT project. So we started helping other projects build it, and then then we started helping businesses, because NFTs and this blockchain technology is not only for games and stuff.
Yeah.
It's for everyone. You just
Yes.
have to figure out a way. So yeah, that's where we are currently at. We are trying to help businesses in Bahrain and internationally use blockchain technology to improve it, because most of these companies can be considered Web 2 companies, but they will have to transition to Web 3 companies. Yeah. Web 3 company is just like, so I'll explain Web 1, 2,
Yes,
3.
yes.
So Web 1 was like, when the internet came out, what was it used for? It was created for military purposes, right? For communications.
Okay.
And and in the beginning of the internet, anyone who knows HTML, it's basic programming, could post a website, and users like you and me could just interact with it, right? There was just read it. Reading. That was Web 1.0. And from 2000 to 2004, maybe after that, started Web 2.0, where applications like YouTube, Google, and Facebook came out, where people could read and write as well. Interaction.
Yeah.
But the idea of Web 1.0 was that it should be decentralized and it should not be owned by anyone, right?
Yes.
Right. But the problem with Web 2.0 is like companies like Google, Amazon, and Facebook,
like these
big giant companies.
Big giant companies, these behemoths.
They started giving out services for free. They allow us to use YouTube for free, Facebook for free, Google for free, but nothing in those world is free, right?
Yes.
If you're getting something for free, means you are the product.
Yes.
Like, and this was I didn't realize. So how do these companies make money is that they use our data
and they sell it.
Then they sell it. And that's the only way they make but the problem with is that it's not right. It's our data. We create the content, but they earn it, right? And we don't have ownership. Let's say if we are a YouTuber and we have millions of subscribers and our livelihood depends upon this channel, and suddenly YouTube decide to shut us down, what could we do? But that's where Web 3.0 came. Instead of these centralized companies, most of these applications will be owned by community. Means no one entity could be able to shut down something. It will be owned by the community.
So who builds these websites?
So basically, there's this something called smart contract.
Yeah.
So smart contracts handle everything. So before, just like we have contracts in the real world, right? We have this house contract. You have to pay 300 BD per month. If you don't pay, you stay. You don't pay, you have consequences. Like just a contract. Similarly, in blockchain, we have something called smart contract. It's just if conditions on the blockchain. And so what these allow is that, so the company, to start a Web3 company or this a Web3 platform, initially someone has to build it, right? Someone builds it and then they create tokens for it, right? And once they build it, because everything is open source, right? They build it and it's published. And later on, any changes to that application could only be made by those community
who own the tokens.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's like
it's like your stakeholders.
Yes. Yeah. And even though you have tokens and you make decisions, somebody will have to do it, and that's where developers are there. So in Web3, the community is getting the benefits. Let's say the token holders are getting benefit by the token is appreciating in value. The people who are mining, right? They are validating transaction. They are getting tokens, and the users are getting. So in this way, there is no central entity that could control, right?
I have a question about this.
Yeah.
What stops Google from buying a bunch of these tokens and having more voting power than others?
Yeah, they could do it. They could do that. So see the block, but that's the problem. They will not be able to do it.
Why not? What if Google has a bunch of individuals or a bunch of different aliases, different names to buy? Because they're not going to buy as Google. Maybe, I don't know. Because when you look at Sandbox, Adidas, Google, Nike are buying huge chunks of land that they can afford, so that when Sandbox releases as a game where you can play, they're going to own a lot of it. It's not really community. Well, technically it is.
Yeah. So even if these companies try to do this, we will realize this. And if it's not in our control, so see, blockchains are not, blockchains can be compromised. So if somebody is able to get control over 51% of the network, it's gone.
Compromise, yeah.
But even if that happened, the community will realize and they will shift. There's something called fork in crypto. It means that we'll just, change our way.
Yeah.
And that's what's happened. Because in real world, if there is a dispute in the company, one of the party has to leave, right? Because there is only one company. But in blockchain, if there is a dispute or any, something, they can just convert that company to two companies. And then the community will realize which one is the original one. I'll tell you an example of it. You might have realized when Ethereum came out, Ethereum was one, right?
Yeah.
But there was some problem with the smart contract, and somebody was able to take a lot of money out of it. What the community was that they did a fork, right? They created a new blockchain, and all the people who had the money were given on the new blockchain, and the other blockchain went away. It's called Ethereum Classic, and there's Ethereum.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
So that's how will happen in the future. The community will decide which one is where, which one should be at the top and which one should be at the bottom.
Yeah, so I get that.
Yeah.
Mostly when it comes to compromising 51% of the blockchain, that's for intrusion, or like people trying to hack or take control of 51% of people's computers and then make a change in the blockchain. I'm saying, what if Google legitimately gets these tokens? There's no intrusion. They didn't hack anything. They bought them legit. They have these tokens.
And they can manipulate the price?
They can manipulate, maybe not the price, but like the voting of what happens in a particular project. I guess that here's the thing. So then you say maybe the community can vote whether Google should be able to vote for this, right?
Yeah, but okay, it depends which blockchain they take it, because Bitcoin is just simple store of value, and
any like, let's say a sophisticated blockchain. I don't know if Ethereum or Polka or Solana, whatever complex blockchain, they have the tokens. So for instance, I'll give you an example. I'm currently investing in a very, my friend found this and I'm thankful to him.
What's called Terra Luna?
No, it's a, I'll tell you after I'll share it with you after, but it's a video game, AAA first person shooter. Okay. What letter does it start with? Maybe we're not thinking the same.
I think it's P.
No, okay, so it's different. We'll see.
Is it by a company in UK?
No. It's American.
It's American, okay. It's different, yeah.
So he found this project very early.
Okay.
And I researched and I was like, okay, they got $10 million funding. They got people who worked in HBO and Microsoft, and they have good employees. So I immediately they don't even have tokens. Yeah, it's so early, there's no tokens. There's just concept, but they have a Discord. And I joined their Discord, and one of the early ones, they gave me like a tag. So I'm like, I have like higher power, whatever, right? When it comes to voting. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is I have voting power for whatever happens in this company. Let's say another company or another project, Google buys a bunch of tokens for this video game. Okay.
And yeah, that's possible.
And it's possible, right? So then maybe we have power as the community to side against Google.
Yeah, that's happening. And that's what's happening in these most blockchain things. There's something called a whale.
Yes.
A whale is someone who owns a lot of tokens and they can manipulate it. Yeah, that is a problem.
So which is a problem, and there could be an answer. There could be like people standing up against this or leaving this project, and like Google, you bought a bunch of this. We're gonna sell all of ours, so now everything's worthless.
Exactly.
I understand that, but let's say in the future now, because most people who are into the space, we're like the 1% of the 1% right now.
Yeah.
Like, even though you feel like NFTs are like ubiquitous, they're everywhere, we're still very early. So if you're here right now and listening to this and investing, you're top one at the top one.
Exactly.
And we are conscientious of the fact that this could happen. We're educated enough to be like, okay, I'll be the type of guy who would vote against Google and just leave the project. In the future, when NFTs become a bigger thing, we're gonna have a lot of people who are shallower and comes to they don't care. They just want to use their VRs and buy things and buy tokens and have voting. Then you have the problem of Google buying out people. You know what I mean? So they're not going to buy the tokens, but they're going to pay people to buy these tokens. And then they're going to have some control some other way. There's always going to be some sort of way that they want to dig their claws in. Even Facebook, what did they name their company?
Meta.
They want to be the ones who control Meta by calling themselves, the Meta doesn't belong to you.
But the whole purpose of this blockchain is decentralization, where the power is not at one place.
Yeah.
And we all over the people in this community are trying to, make it decentralized. But even if these companies try to do it, we'll think what to do at that. But yeah, it's possible.
There has to be a solution. There has to be a solution. I think there should be some sort of centralization, but not in the sense that like Google or whatever own. There should be an authority that regulates these things, that look at they have the best interest of the people.
Yeah.
And allow or disallow people to buy amount of tokens or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, you know how when you sign up for a bank, they want to take a picture of you.
KYC, yeah.
KYC, right? So
Know your customer.
There should be some sort of KYC when it comes to Web 3.0, because my biggest fear is this. Eventually, I'm telling you right now, because they know how big this is. Facebook, whatever, Google, they're all 24/7 trying to figure out how they're going to play a role in this.
Yeah.
There's no way they're not. This is going to be a multi-billion-dollar industry in the future.
Exactly.
They're trying. Facebook did it early. They changed their name company to Meta.
Yeah.
But I don't know what Google's going to do. I don't know what all these other Yahoo, whatever
They might be doing. We don't know yet.
We don't know.
Yeah.
Right. So I that's my biggest fear. But for the time being, for the next 5 years, I don't think we have to worry about that yet. But when it comes to fruition, that's what I'm worried about. Yeah. I was gonna say something about crypto, not NFTs, but I guess it's loosely,
it's the same thing.
Loosely connected. I was gonna tell you a story because you reminded me when you said you bought 50 BD worth of Ethereum. Yeah. I don't know how much that became, how much that turned.
It turned into 500 BD, and I was like, how? Within a few months, and that's where my curiosity rise.
That's good. That's good. I have a similar story, but it's gonna drive you crazy.
Did you buy Bitcoin early?
You're gonna die from this.
All right, tell me. Go ahead.
So a long time ago, early 2010s.
Okay,
like 2011.
This is getting interesting because Bitcoin came out that time.
Yes. Okay. I used to watch a lot of YouTube videos, 2012, around that time. I don't know what exactly, but Bitcoin was like worth like $1 or something at that point, or less. And I used to watch a lot of conspiracy theory videos and criminal kind of like videos. And then there was these guys I would watch, and they would talk about the deep web.
The dark web, yeah.
Okay. Deep web or the dark web, for people who don't know, it's like a very scary part of the internet where a lot of illegal things happen because it's not very monitored by or regulated by people. You have to do a lot of things to get into the deep web, hardware wise. Anyway, but so they would talk about how there's counterfeit money, and how people would buy counterfeit money is to use Bitcoin. Or Bitcoin to buy because it's untraceable, whatever. It's anonymous. You can't know who it is. You just know the address, but you don't know who it is, right? So in that sense, it's untraceable, not in the sense of blockchain. Anyway, so I'm like, oh, interesting. And then I remember Amazon at that time, believe it or not, they allowed Bitcoin payments.
Really?
Very early. I think it's some online shop. I don't know if Amazon, eBay. And I want to like buy Bitcoin just because I thought it was cool.
Okay.
Because
this is getting interesting.
This criminal thing going on. I feel like cool buying Bitcoin, just owning Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. I told my mom,
okay,
Mom, can I use your card to buy Bitcoin? And maybe I would have bought 100 for like 10 BD or whatever, or less. Okay, maybe more. Who knows?
If you had done that, we wouldn't be sitting here.
I'm telling you. You know what my mom says? I remember this, and she remembers this too. I don't want to put my card in the internet.
Yeah,
she was scared. And you know what's sad about that is I remember. A year after, we used to play Club Penguin. I don't know if you remember Mini Clip. It's a game, Club Penguin. Okay. And you can buy. You're controlling penguins, and you can have igloos, whatever. It's like cosmetics. And I wanted to buy an igloo or something. I told my, can I use a card? She's like, yeah. And then I forgot about the Bitcoin thing. Like, this is where my mom opened up about using her card on the internet, and I forgot about Bitcoin. Until I remembered when Bitcoin blew up
in 2013 or 17.
This was like 2013 when I bought the igloo. Mm-hmm. But when Bitcoin blew up, when it made like 8K or something, I was like, I remembered Bitcoin. I remember this story. I told my mom, Mom, if you let me use your card, we would have been millionaires now. People don't believe it when I tell them. I swear to God, this is true. This is a true story.
It's really interesting you knew about, from that time.
I didn't have the foresight of blockchain, whatever. I just thought it was cool because criminals owned it. It's conspiracy theory.
Yeah, the thing was, initially, Bitcoin was used for these purposes. There was this website. I watched a documentary, and it was about Silk Road. There's a website, right?
Okay.
It's a website on the dark web where drugs are sold. Mm-hmm. So on that website, PayPal didn't work and credit card didn't work. So they were accepting Bitcoin for them.
Yeah.
And for that reason, many exchanges that were offering Bitcoin got closed, and the founders of those companies got arrested. And that's when the hype came down. Okay, Bitcoin is used for illegal activities and so on.
I think that's why Amazon stopped using Bitcoin after that. Because I remember distinctly, I think there was a time where Amazon would accept Bitcoin. Yeah. I distinctly remember that.
Yeah, there were companies that were accepting it, but I didn't know at that time, really.
Yeah, so I'm like, it happened. I don't want to dwell too much about it, but...
but still, Bitcoin, even if it's worth, how much is worth now?
I don't know, 50K.
It will be worth way more because we need to remember that it's going to be limited. It's going to be only
every year or 2 years.
Every 6 years, I think.
6 years? Is it?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay.
What happens after certain years, the mining rewards get less. So it means that at some point there will be limited Bitcoins in the world.
Yeah.
Only 21 million of them.
And it's not only that, not only they're getting half, but people who are mining it are getting more and more.
And the interesting thing is that people are not selling it. They're
holding it.
Holding it because they know. Because all the other cryptos depend on this, right? So,
yeah. No,
but no financial advice.
Yeah, this is I have to put like a thing.
Yeah.
No, but what we're saying is not financial advice, just our opinions.
Yeah, because recently every YouTube video I watch, this is the first thing.
Yeah.
I'm just a guy on YouTube. This is not financial advice.
Yeah. Even family members, man, they tell me because I invest in this area. The way I'll explain the way I invest my salary. I get my salary, ding, notification, your salary. 50% of it, immediately I start investing. There's no questions asked, nothing. Ever since I worked my first month, my first salary, I did this. 50%, I take majority of it, so like 30% of it, I'll put it in an ETF, or mutual fund ETF. That's like my long-term, how I'm gonna retire early. That's what I'm doing right now, compound interest, all that stuff. Okay. But then the rest, 20%, whatever it is, I invest in like short-term crypto, except like NFTs. NFTs for me is still like 2 years. I'm leaving it there. Yeah. But for I would invest in Polka, if you heard of the crypto, Polkadot.
Have you heard about Terra Luna?
I think I've heard of Terra Luna.
They're doing something big. Don't miss out.
Okay, not financial advice.
No financial advice. I'm just telling you.
We'll talk about it later. But yeah, obviously now I'm taking a hit because everything's down, which is fine.
Which is fine.
It's fine. I don't worry. That's what I'm saying. I'm investing money I can afford to lose.
Do you know what dollar cost averaging?
No.
Whereas that you don't buy when it's high, you don't buy when it's low. You just keep on buying.
Yeah, I just keep on buying.
Yeah.
I keep on buying. When I bought Polka, it was at 37, something like that. It reached 60 at one point, I think, or 58, something like that. I was like, oh yeah, I'm not going to sell. Because I have faith it's going to reach 80 or 100.
Which platforms are you used to buy crypto?
Before, I used to use eToro.
Okay.
Now I switched to Binance.
Oh, that's
I switched to Binance.
And it's
my brother works in Rain, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Ali Swar.
I think I know. That's really great.
Yeah.
They just had this cool update and they added a bunch of new crypto. And
I saw the post.
Really awesome.
I might move there. We'll see. Yeah. But early because they had such limited.
But the problem was, should I say it? The problem with these centralized exchanges.
Yeah. Go ahead.
You can cut this out of this. The problem. Yeah. So
no, it's okay. I'm not sponsored by Rain. Okay. My brother doesn't own a stake in Rain.
Yeah,
he just
because what I'm about to say might be bad for centralized exchanges. So there are two types of exchanges: centralized exchanges and decentralized exchanges. Yeah. So any crypto wallet has two things: private key and public key. Yes. Right. So public key is the one which you use is like just my benefit number where you can give me and I send money on it.
Yeah.
But the private key is the password.
Yes.
So the problem with these centralized exchanges is that they have both of these keys.
Yeah.
And like, let's say if my money is now in Binance or Rain or Facet or whatever, CoinMina, they hold my crypto and they can do whatever with it.
Yeah.
So that's what people need to also educate themselves that, okay, which is centralized exchange, which is decentralized exchange. Yeah.
And when it comes to centralized exchanges, sometimes when you sign up, you're agreeing to terms.
Yeah.
And you don't read. And it explains what happens if a hack happens, how much you're owed, your insurance.
I'll tell you what happened. I had this account in Facet and I wanted to withdraw some crypto and they didn't allow me. For 3 weeks, they didn't allow anyone in Bahrain as long as, as my friends know. And when I reached out to them, they said, we're having some technical issues. But I knew what was happening because people wanted to withdraw money. And if people withdraw money, there will be a problem in their platform.
Yeah.
But that's
so the problem. What happened with Robinhood too, right? There was Robinhood where, I don't know what it was.
GameStop?
Yeah, AMC and GameStop. Yeah. When that happened, they stopped people from, this is the problem with centralized.
That's the problem with centralization. Yeah. But I think early on, the people who just getting started, it's good they use centralized exchange, but as soon as they realize, okay, what is it, then they need to move on to decentralized exchanges or, having their own wallets or even, going to ledgers. Yes. It's like a device which, you hold. Yeah,
it's like a MF key. What is it called?
Multi-signature key, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, but it's just a device like a USB where you can hold your crypto.
What is it? They're called cold storage, right?
Yeah.
There's hot storage and cold storage, right?
I don't know the technical term.
So cold storage is when your keys are safe somewhere and they're offline. They have no connection to the internet.
Yeah.
And then the hotkeys are the ones that are in the market, in the blockchain, and it's always like circling.
I don't know about the technical term, but what I know is that it's just a USB where you store your crypto, and it's the safest thing to do.
Yeah, do that, guys. Do that. But
and if you might get some sponsors.
Yeah, hey Rain, you can still sponsor me. It's okay.
We'll talk good about you.
we'll talk positively. I mean, it is positive.
It's a good thing because the first time I think it was in 2017 or when they opened.
2018 maybe.
Yeah, and that's when I started telling my friend, okay, there's this company, they're allowing us to buy Ethereum, let's go buy them. And at that time I thought, okay, there was this kiosk where we put in BD and we get coin, because I was dumb, I didn't know what was crypto, and I had this idea, there's a kiosk, we put in money, we get crypto. But
because my brother owns like a coin that's shaped like Bitcoin, and I want to convince people this is Bitcoin, guys, look, I have Bitcoin. I want to see how many people will fall for it, even though it is fun. But do you invest as well in spaces, or are you just involved like in?
So personally, the thing is, I learn everything about it, and I still don't know anything. This is so much to learn.
It's a good mentality to have. Yeah, about anything.
Yeah, because the thing is, the only thing I know is that I don't know anything.
Yeah. Who says that? Socrates?
Yeah. It was him. So I have this constant urge and hunger to learn more, and these days it's mostly about technology. So I do invest. I invest in DeFi, mostly DeFi.
Okay.
So DeFi stands for decentralized finance. So normally we have finance where you have these central entities like banks and governments, and they control the money. But with decentralized finance, it's the same thing. Nobody owns it, right? So I have been involved in multiple projects, and that's what I'm doing.
Good.
But personally, I don't only invest. So crypto, DeFi, and GameFi, and not NFTs that are just pictures and don't have any tokens.
Yes, I like that. See, this is to me is I don't invest in anything I don't research and believe in.
Yeah, and you should understand what you're getting involved in.
Yes, 100%. Like when I invest in Polka, I saw their project, I saw their chains and all that stuff. I'm like, oh, this is actually helpful.
So the thing about Polka, sorry, I'm cutting you, is that, okay, so there are different layers in blockchain, right?
Yeah.
So what Polka will do, Polka is a layer 0 thing. It will allow multiple blockchains to be built on top of upon it. And that's something really big. People don't realize it.
Yeah. So when I heard about it, I'm like, I'm going to invest.
Exactly.
Solana, I didn't research much, but I didn't put too much in it.
So the problem with Solana, Avalanche, and everything is that, okay, so do you know what is EVM?
No.
EVM stands for Ethereum Virtual Machines, right?
Okay.
So Bitcoin is just a store of value or transaction of money. That's it.
Yeah.
But Ethereum allowed to, run smart contracts on something called Ethereum Virtual Machine.
Okay.
But the problem with Ethereum was that so the network can, in Bitcoin, there can only be, I think, 5 transaction or some transaction. It's really slow. And Ethereum, it was fast in Bitcoin, but in 2017, there a game came out called CryptoKitties, which allowed so many people to jump in, and the network become congested, and therefore we have higher gas fees. So gas fees are just like
fees.
Yeah. So the gas fees are just like a tax you have to pay to run your transaction. So that's the problem with Ethereum. Ethereum could solve it, but they're not solving it. They're saying, okay, we are moving from proof of stake, and then the gas fees will be lower.
Yeah.
So that's where all these competitors came out. Solana, Avalanche, Phantom.
Understood. So they're trying to compete with that
exactly.
aspect.
So they do exactly what they're doing, just faster and cheaper. And in the long run, I'm not doing any prediction, but there wouldn't be all of them. There will be either one of them, or I don't know how it will work out. But everything they're doing is just doing as same as Ethereum, but they're doing faster and cheaper. And whoever does it best will be the winner in the long run.
Yeah, and so you're talking about the proof of stake and all that stuff. Ethereum is moving to Ethereum 2.0, right?
Yeah, and if that happens, and if Ethereum, is able to scale itself, then all of these will be kind of
negligible. Yeah,
because there'll be either one or two only. I don't know how it will work out, because from what I understand, there won't be all of them. There will be only one or two, or only one.
So I was gonna say it's gonna be a little bit different from what we're talking about, but you said you're a person who you're a go-getter. You like reading, you want to make money.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're one person, you're one human being. You can't work actively. So there's obviously, for people who don't know, there's passive income and there's active income, right? you can't be active at two things at one point. It's very hard. It's almost impossible. So what I try to do is generate passive income. What are yes? So I bought a crypto machines coming soon, inshallah. It's been since November. Bitmain is a pain in the butt. So I'm trying to generate passive income through investing, through crypto. So investing in crypto and ETF through the mining machine. I'm thinking of other ways. I'm trying. We'll see. For you, what advice or which areas do you think passive income can be good?
So first of all, I think people might know what's passive income, or do you want to explain it?
Yeah, so passive income is money you make by not doing anything. That's the easiest way to put it.
Your money making money for you.
Yeah, your assets are making money for you. So if you buy land, just owning land is passive income because it gets higher in value usually, right? So then you can sell it later. But passive income could be like investing in stocks, and the stocks go up and you're not doing anything, you're just getting money by investing.
Yeah, but it's not free money. You have to put in the work.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, personally, I'm a big fan of passive income. I think I read this book called The Psychology of Money. I think that book. Okay, so I my goal was to get rich. I'm not rich.
Yes.
So I realized, okay, what can I do? Even if I do, work 20 hours a day or something, I'll be able to make specific amount. And I'm human after all. I'll get tired, as you said.
Yeah.
And that's where I found that passive income. So for passive income, I thought, okay, what is out there that can make passive income? Okay, there's businesses, there's real estate, and there's so on. But the entrance to these is not easy for someone like a student like me. So that's where crypto came in. So your question was what I'm doing missing in passive income. So in crypto, there's something called staking.
Yes.
So just like we have mining, like Jabur mentioned, he is getting mining machines. I'm looking forward to that.
Inshallah.
So what these machines do is that these machines solve some mathematical problems, and Jabur, who is the one who's providing electricity for that, he gets some money for it. Similar, and that's called proof of work. But this is one consensus model, right? Which was created by Bitcoin and Satoshi Nakamoto. But the thing is that but the problem with this consensus model is that it uses electricity and it's not good for the environment. So yeah, that's one way for passive income, where you just leave on your machines and they make money for you.
And that's why Elon Musk removed Bitcoin as a transaction.
Yeah, because it's not sustainable and it's not good for the environment.
Yeah.
And the second thing came out is proof of stake.
Yes.
Where you don't need to run these machines, where you take your tokens and you lock it somewhere, and then those tokens are used to validate transaction, and then the fees that the gas fee that people pay, that will be earned by you. So if you're doing any transaction on Bitcoin, the miners will validate the transaction, and who is mining will get the payment. And similar in proof of stake, whoever has staked the token will get the token. So that's one way of passive income, where you stake your crypto. Second thing is called lending and borrowing, as I mentioned in DeFi. So there is this there's a website called Compound. So normally, what you do is that in traditional bank, you give the money to your bank. It says that it's stored in your account, but it's not there. The bank is using it, lending it.
Yeah, that's generally how banks work. If people don't know.
Yeah, people don't know.
They use your money, by the way.
And that's what I tell my mother. She said, Talha will keep it in the bank. I said, no, they're not using it. Give me, I'll put it in crypto.
Yeah.
So what you do is that there's something called lending and borrowing. So let's say you have Ethereum in your wallet and it's just sitting there, and it's going up in price or it's going down in price, but it's not doing anything for you. But what if you lend it? You put into softwares like Compound or any other in these DeFi protocols, and you provide liquidity. You allow other people to use your token, and somebody will use it. So that's one way. Another way is that normally if you keep money in your bank in the saving account, you get 0.5 on 1%, right?
Yeah, to battle inflation.
Exactly.
Yes.
But what if I tell you there are protocols on blockchains that allow you to earn as much as 20%. That's what I was telling you. There is a blockchain called Terra Luna. Still no financial advice, but I'll educate you guys. So there is this new blockchain called Terra Luna. So I'll have to explain something.
Yeah.
You know about stablecoin, right?
Yes.
So So the problem with crypto is that all cryptocurrencies are volatile. Let's say one day it's 100 BD, second day 200 BD, third day 50 BD. So it's really volatile, right? It's not stable. So to solve this problem, they came out with stable coins.
Yes.
So stable coin is some Tether USDC, and it's something pegged to the dollar.
Yes.
So it means that if you buy one USD will be burned, right? And let's say if there is $10 million USD in supply, it means that that amount is stored somewhere in a bank. And that's good. That solves the problem of volatility. But the problem with that, and the news came out, is that the money, it's only showing, it's not actually in the bank. That's the problem with Tether. So to solve this problem, Terra Luna came up with a new kind of stablecoin. It's called Algorithmic Stablecoin. I don't know if I pronounce it correctly. So what is that? Instead of being pegged to a fiat currency, it's pegged to a cryptocurrency. So it's get really confusing. So there's the blockchain is called Terra blockchain. They have this coin called Luna, and they have their stablecoin USD.
Okay.
So that's how it works. So if more USD are minted, Luna is burnt and its price is gone.
Okay.
That's what it works.
Gotcha.
So they have this protocol called Anchor Protocol, which offers 20% APY, and it's steady. And
how do they do that? Is it just through these because it's DeFi and
So they have three main sources of that. One is through lending and borrowing. The second one is that people bridge more cryptocurrencies into that protocol, and there's one more other way. So it's really sustainable, and they're very transparent about it, how they are making money. At the moment, it's 19.78, and it has been stable.
Bro, if it was 10% or even less, I would still be like, okay.
Exactly, and the thing is, stable coin. Your money will not go anywhere.
How long has it been up? If you know,
I found about it like 4 months ago, and I have been constantly telling my friends, Terra Luna.
Did you invest? Did you put?
Yeah, obviously, who wouldn't miss out on it? But the thing is, at the moment it's 20%, but let's say in a few years' time, it won't be that much. It would come down, but still it's better than a bank.
Dude.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a talk. We're gonna have a talk after this.
Really, and I'll tell you why. When I found out, so as more people put money into that protocol, that Terra Luna coin price will high. That coin was worth $26 when I found it. Now it's worth $90. This one coin, and it will keep going up. And it's solving more problems. The thing is, so what it's doing is that Terra Luna allows a stable coin for every country.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's say if Bahrain wants their own stable coin, they can provide. So there are countries like Mongolia and Korea, they are using this every transaction. What they have done is that they don't need to tell people what's happening underneath. Just like you and me use credit and debit card, we don't need to know what's happening underneath, how the transaction are validating this. We use the card. So what they did is that they created a new type of card which people use, but the underneath transaction are happening on blockchain using USD.
Oh, okay.
And that's have real use case, right? So that's something to look at it. So I think their tagline is creating money for the internet or something like that. So it's a really good thing. The Terra
I'm glad
Luna
we
blockchain.
had this conversation. I'm glad I asked that question about passive.
Exactly. And people don't know about it. Like Terra Luna is so instead of investing in projects that like scams, invest in these projects that are solving real problems.
Yes.
And then there's this Helium Network.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
So what Helium is trying,
you buy the router.
You buy the routers, and then it's same. It allows it earns you tokens.
Yeah.
And what they're trying to do, they're trying to create a decentralized ISP, something like that.
Yes.
Like we have. Yeah.
There are some in Bahrain, by the way, because when you want to buy, you can go to their website and they can show you where in the map. And there's some people here are
exactly.
Okay. Yeah, you guys are up to date with this. Good.
And that's it. So that's one way. And every day there are a lot of things coming up. So in 2000, there was this meme coins where if you have invested in Doge or Shiba, you would have, but that's pure speculation. And then there is so many things. But right now the trend is GameFi.
Yes.
Games. So that's a couple of ways.
To me, it's not financial advice.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be like invest in this, but my advice would be look closely to the game industry when it comes to NFT.
Exactly, because everybody plays games, right?
Everybody plays games, and it's gonna be a tangible manifestation of the metaverse. It's because it's already here.
Have you heard about? You might have heard. Roblox. How does it work?
Yes.
There is Robux.
Yes.
Robux in that.
Yeah.
And it's just the metaverse is the same thing.
It's the same,
but that's real money.
Real money.
Simple thing.
It's real money, and Sandbox and all these games. I know there's one called Illuvium. I know all these. Like I'm trying to.
Yeah, there's so many out there.
There's so many out there. Just invest in one or two that seem good. okay, I'm gonna say invest. Look them up.
Yeah, get involved.
Get involved. If you're going to invest, if you by your own choice invest, keep it for 2 years. When Sandbox, I invested in Sandbox when it was 1 point, I think it was 0.8 or 1.8, something like that, and it went to like 8 or 10, and then went down to 5. So when I told my friends to invest at when it was at 2, it went to 8, and then it went back to 5, and they sold like, oh, they're panicked. I'm like, man, Sandbox is gonna, in my opinion, is gonna hit triple digits. Exactly. Don't sell
because it has real use case.
It is. It's solving a problem. It's going to be entertaining. The infrastructure is there. We just have to wait for it to come into fruition. Just give it a year or two. It's not going to be overnight. It's not get rich scheme. You know.
Yeah, if it's the same thing. Remember when in Fortnite the singer have a concert? I don't know.
Travis Scott.
My brother was playing Fortnite and he showed me Talha, something is happening, and I was like, really? And then when I understood, okay, what is metaverse? And I was like, they are already planning for it. They were way ahead of the game.
They're dude. I'm saying these companies are multi-billionaire companies. They're already thinking of ways to invest in this space.
Yeah, it's better to learn about it instead of just being ignorant about it, because if it's too late, you'll not be able to join it.
Yes. And right now it's still early. I know there's a lot of buzz around, but it's still early. If you're into this, you're ahead of people.
But one thing I have noticed is that people really want to get into it, but they don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
And once they do, they have a bad experiences and then they stop.
Yeah.
So we need to create some sort of way in which people could avoid bad experiences, learn, and then do it.
So NFT Mina, is there anything like that going on?
Oh yeah, exactly. So yeah, NFT Mina is an event at Ritz-Carlton Bahrain on the 16th, 17th, and 18th. The main focus is on just introducing NFT in Bahrain. There are going to be artists from all over the world. There are going to be workshops in which they will teach you how to create your own NFTs, how to create your NFTs, what are smart contracts, and everything involved in the space, cryptocurrency, metaverse, and there's something we are doing, and people will be really interested in that. We have create your own NFT experience. So what you'll do, you'll come sit on our booth, we'll take a picture, we'll convert you into a CryptoPunk and post it on the blockchain, and you'll have your NFT in your wallet. So
I want to do that.
Yeah, okay. Please do come.
Sure. Yeah. I was going to ask a question about, is it Nalikes?
Yeah.
Nalikes Studios. I was going to ask, so you guys are making this game. Oh, before I want to ask about the whole sign language thing.
Yeah.
Do you guys still have that?
Yes, we. The thing is, so I told about, right? We were looking for funding, right?
Yeah.
And I think I skipped this part.
Okay.
So a mistake. So we were looking for funding, and we weren't able to raise money. And we started this NFT project, and we realized that people are using these NFT projects for social cause, right? So what we did, we merged both of these projects. So we'll say, so Realm of Cuboids, this funds generated from the game and from this NFT sales. We told our community, we have it on our website, that 2.5% will be used for the development of this product. So instead of just getting funding from somewhere, we are self-funding ourselves.
That's actually smart. I was literally gonna say for the funding of that, for Nalikes, do you plan on using the game to fund that? And you just answered
that's called VoiceMate. The product is called VoiceMate.
Okay.
So we'll fund it ourselves.
Because I love the idea of that project. I'm not gonna lie to you, Hamza told me about it, so I knew about it before he explained it.
Yeah.
But I don't want to say anything because people are they're watching. I want to not pretend, but be in the place of the audience. If I tell you, I know what it is, I don't have to explain. Obviously, I want people to know about it. But when he told me about it like a few days ago, I was like, man, that's if they got funding for that, it is a big. You can sell it to Google Translate, whatever, if you want to sell it.
You know what we plan to do with it? Imagine if you're watching a YouTube video, you click on CC, you get.
Dude,
imagine if there is another button you click, you get a pop-up.
That's amazing.
That's what we plan to do, and integrate them in Zoom meeting and Microsoft meeting, so nobody feels left out.
Mm-hmm. So at what stage are you in developing Realm of the Cuboids?
Realm of Cuboids.
Yes.
So Realm of Cuboids, we'll actually launch on we have a game demo ready. Mm-hmm. That game can only be played if you hold an NFT, and it has all the the idea, but there's the tokenomics is not involved yet.
Yeah, no problem.
Because we want to do it at a later stage when the game is fully working.
Yeah.
And another thing is that we will do a minting event, because we only have around 10,000 NFTs and we have sold 200, and we're not doing a big minting event. We are doing it in series, because the thing is, we don't want people who are in it for only the price, who are the flippers. They come in, they buy NFT and they flip. And because they're using, our floor price is 0.1. So the starting price is 0.069, but the floor price is 0.1, because all the people in our community knew what is our project, and it's just not there for flipping it. So we are planning to do a minting event in April, and then we'll have.
Do you have a Discord?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Do join.
I'll join, and I'll share it with people if they want to join.
We are everywhere.
So okay, I think we're exhausted. Is there anything you want to talk about?
Oh, I think that's it.
Okay.
But just I want to say about is that this is something to really get involved in. If you are a developer, if you are an investor, an artist or something, this technology has something for everyone, right? So yeah, just explore it, learn about it. And if there is something you guys need help with, please reach out to me.
Yes, I will put all your socials for the studios and for yourself as well, if you want your personal stuff.
I personally don't use much, so because I don't like social media. There's a whole other reason for that.
Okay, interesting. Maybe I can have you back. We can talk about that. That's a good issue to talk about. Yeah, because you like to read books. I like to read books. Yeah, more so now than I used to. I used to read a lot of Goosebumps and a lot of I have them here. It's a bunch of them here. Awesome. But now, you talk about How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie.
I have read, I have read all the self-help books out there.
Yeah. See, I'm getting self-help. I have Atomic Habits, James Clear. I have Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life and Antidote to Chaos. I think it's called
Chaos. Yeah. There's a second part for it.
Yeah. I think it's a new one now. We'll see. But I'm trying to get into that.
Let's do someday only focused on books.
Yeah. See, one thing I like about what you said is when you read the books, you actually applied.
Yeah. Knowledge is useless until applied.
Even Dale Carnegie, interesting, said, when you read this book, it's useless if you don't do what I'm telling you. Exactly. And you have to reread this book. Exactly. Right? I think there's no value in books in themselves. There's a philosophical question. There's more philosophical. When you hear, does a tree make a sound when no one's around to hear it? Deep. Does it?
Repeat it, please.
Does a tree make a sound when it falls? If a tree falls in the middle of nowhere, does it make a sound?
Because there's no one to hear it.
So there's no sound, right? Yeah. There's no observer. Sound is something, in order for it to become sound, there has to be an observer who can absorb it as sound. If there's nobody there, does it make a sound? I mean, it's just waves floating in the air. It's not sound. If that's what sound, maybe. The way I think of it, I'm trying to use that example to books. Do books have values in themselves? Like the words in the book have value? Or is it when someone reads it, does it have value?
When someone reads it and applies it.
Exactly, right? That's my opinion. There's philosophy is maybe the words themselves contain value in them, right? But to me, books mean nothing if you don't read and apply. I know people that read 50 million self-help books, but then they stay the same. And it's because at the moment it makes sense, but what are you doing to apply it, right? So that's why I'm taking it. I'm at a slow pace when it comes to reading self-help books, because there's so much knowledge. And usually for some of the self-help books, they can be dragged on. There's one or two.
And once you read, you'll realize everybody's doing this, repeating the same thing.
Yeah. And there's one or two concepts, but they have to make a book out of it, right? So there are sometimes people who would read summaries, whatever. I still want to read the book, etc. But
yes, the reason I read book is that I want to become a writer. So I'm also writing a book, but I stopped it because of this technology. So I read all of these self-help books, right? And I realized, okay, there are so many books and nobody will read all of these books. What if I could combine all the information
into one book?
Into a book, and the name will be Create a Better You, where there will be practical advices on how to improve yourself physically, financially, and mentally. I think these are the three things.
Yeah, it's I make a chapter for all,
A simple, straight English, no stories, just a few page small book. It has practical advice. Workout, if somebody wants to lose weight, what to do. If somebody wants to get rid,
calorie out. That's number one you need to know.
Calorie deficit.
Number two for finance. If you want to invest, take 50% or whatever formula from your salary, put it in this and this, and then leave it for 20 years.
Yeah, and mentally avoid news.
Avoid news. But it was great having you, Talha.
Same here.
I really enjoyed it. If you have anything you want to say to the people at the end, like anything,
I
you want to shout yourself out, your studios, all that stuff.
I wouldn't do for myself. I'll shout it for Jabur because the thing he's doing is really great. The reason is that my friend, he also wanted to start a podcast. He bought this equipment, he did the setup, but it's still in the work. No offense, Talha. So his name is also Talha.
Okay.
But the thing is, you're doing it, and you're actually doing it, and I know at some point this will be really big.
Inshallah.
And yeah, inshallah.
Thank you very much. Anyway, this was Talha, guys, and if you enjoy this episode, let me know. I know it could be technical. It's one of the more technical ones.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it. I hope people did. I hope we explained some of the concepts. I hope we didn't brush over things. I think you did with Web 3.0, with NFTs, with crypto, blockchain.
Yeah,
So I hope this served as a good introduction.
Yeah.
And keep an eye out in the space, people. You have to, or you'll miss out. You'll be like, why did I do this? Don't have the fear of missing out. That's bad. But also don't neglect it.
Yeah.
That's my advice. And thank you guys for listening.
Thank you guys.